virtuous, individual, Black excellence. Centuries ago, melanated people were known as royalty. Later down the timeline, we were taken out of Africa, put on ships to travel into unknown territory and become enslaved. Captured, mistreated, refused to be seen as virtuous, individual, Black excellence. It's time to gain our reputation back. It's time to continue the dreams of Mansa Musa and Cleopatra, who defined royalty, wealth, and power in Africa. But most importantly, we will complete the dreams that God has for us. We will reign in victory. Y'all ready to V.I.B.E? Because I am. Come on, let's talk with me, your favorite host, Paris Hawk. Let's vibe, baby. Bonjour, it's me, your girl Patty, and this is Let's Talk with Paris Hawk V.I.B.E, the show where we represent all virtuous, individual, Black, excellent kings and queens, 365 days a year, 7 days a week. That's right, baby. Not once every blue moon, but every single week. If you are here today, then you know that you are a Black king and queen. You know that you are a melanated beauty. You know that you need to always have your crown on. And if you don't have your crown on, someone's knocked it down. Just know that God and we got your back, baby. Okay, we got your back. We are coming for that person that knocked your crown down, and we are coming to adjust it, because God does not create anyone that does not deserve his blessing. God does not create anyone that he does not have a plan for. And so, baby, God has a plan for you. Remember, Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to help you prosper and to give you a future and an expected hope." Okay? Okay. So God's got you. And like Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 2 says, it says, "All these blessings will come upon you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God." And so God is going to rain blessings down on you, okay? God's going to rain so many blessings down on you that you won't even be able to count them. You won't even be able to say, can I be stingy? No, you can't be stingy, because your pot is going to overflow and overflow and overflow and overflow, so much so that your family will be blessed, and your children will be blessed, and your children's children and their children's children will be blessed. God is going to bless you with an expectant hope and an awesome future. Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay. Y'all know I'm crazy, but for real. And if y'all don't believe, like I always say, that Matthew 17, verse 20 says that if you have faith as small as a tiny, tiny mustard seed, so tiny, whoop, I just threw it. You can't see it. Why? Because your faith has to be that small. And when it is that small, with God, you can move mountains. With God, you can do above anything that your haters might try to say, you can't do it. That your family may try to say, you're not going to be enough. But guess what? You may have a horrible past. You may have a past that is full of guilt, full of shame, full of pain. But with God, all things are possible. For real. With God, all things are possible. So stop looking at your past. Stop looking at what you didn't do. Stop looking at what you could have done, because now is the present time. Now is the time to be able to say, I can do it. And if I can't do it, then I am going to turn to God, because with God, nothing is impossible. Y'all, my story shows that God is possible. He is possible to fulfill all of your hopes and dreams. And so, without further ado, I would like to introduce to you a very special person. I have special people on my show every week. This is another special person. All y'all are special. Okay, yes, y'all are special. But I would like to introduce to you another special guest. I have known him since I think fourth grade. Yeah, fourth grade. I know I still look like I'm in fourth grade, but I'm 22. Okay, baby. Okay. But for real, I would like to introduce to you someone that I've known my whole entire life, basically, since fourth grade. They are the owner, the CEO of, I hope I'm saying it right, Wes Guerrier Photography. If I butchered it, I do apologize sincerely. Okay? But yes, today we are going to just be blessed with his story. And in his story, it basically talks about how he started later in life with what he wanted to do. And now he does his business full time. But even though he started later in life, even though he had excuses behind him, those excuses are behind him now. And because he had faith in God, because he wanted to have a better future for himself, now he is booming in business. So I hope you guys enjoy our future interview for today. I will see you guys at the end of the interview. And remember that you are Black gold. You are a melanated king and queen, baby. You are royalty. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. I'll see y'all soon, okay? Bye. Let's talk with Paris Hawk. Ooh, we got the V, we got the I, we got the B, we got the E. Oh, we got the vibe. We got the V, we got the I, we got the B, we got the E. Oh, we got the vibe, 'cause we're virtuous, individual, and we're Black. We're excellent. We got the V.I.B.E. We're Black gold. Don't know if you've been told. Oh, we got the vibe. So let's talk with Paris Hawk. Let's vibe, baby.
Bonjour, it's me, your girl Perry, and this is Let's Talk with Paris Hawk V.I.B.E. Today, I have a wonderful guest on here today. I've known him since I was like, fourth grade? I don't know. I've known him since I was a kid, okay? So it is definitely a pleasure to have you on today. I want to introduce to you guys the CEO of Wes Guerrier Photography. First of all, before we start, I want to say thank you so much for taking your time out today to be on Let's Talk with Paris Hawk V.I.B.E. And I'm sure you're on here because you know that you are a virtuous individual, Black excellent king. And
oh my goodness, thank you so much. Very humbled.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about your business and yourself.
Okay, well, thank you so much for inviting me. It was a surprise and an honor to, be asked to be interviewed. So I don't get to be interviewed very often, so I'm really excited. But thank you so much. Wes Guerrier Photography, I discovered my passion for photography back in 2014. It was a friend of mine who was trying to start up a modeling agency. It asked me if I could help him with soliciting potential models to do some test modeling shoots. And one young lady took me up on the offer. And I went with her to Silver Spring, and my buddy Frank Jules, he and his wife, they had a studio where he had a very expensive camera he had on a tripod to capture the images, and he asked me to use his wife's Nikon D3200 DSLR. And for me at that time, it was the first time ever I had ever held a DSLR to be able to work with. And it was literally magic at the end of that shoot. It was an epiphany. It was like, oh my God, I need to buy a camera.
Right.
And that was it. That's how it all began.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Huh.
Yeah.
I don't hear that story like that often. Normally it's like, oh, I don't know. I hear a lot of stories, but that's an interesting story.
Yeah.
So, when you first started, is this when you started your business? Or I know you said this when your passion started in 2014. When exactly did your business exactly start?
I decided as of January the 1st, 2015, this is a business. I really want to take my passion and convert it into a business and really start, hopefully, generating income, but most importantly, doing what I love to do. And so 2015, I also became the signed up membership with the Professional Photographers Association, a very well respected organization, PPA. They're based in Atlanta, Georgia. They've been around for over 100 years. Yeah. And so they're a very good organization with a lot of great training and education, and they have local chapters. So I got a chance to get a little bit involved with that. And I took my first conference trip to Atlanta. I believe it was in 2015, where they had their they have an annual conference in different cities, but this one was in Atlanta. Great opportunity to network with people. So that was basically my start. And really enjoyed, the journey has been nothing short of amazing since then.
Wow, that's awesome. So you would say that your inspiration came from your friend's shoot?
Yes, without question, without question. Shooting a model, and capturing still photos. Prior to that, I will tell you this. When I was involved with church some years ago, and I was a member of a local church in Baltimore, it's called Miracle Temple, I raised my hand to volunteer. I raised my hand to volunteer for a television ministry they were going to start. Okay. So I was taught how to use a TV camera, a live TV HD camera. Now that is totally different than still photography. But for some reason, I got really good at that, but didn't see that as photography. I just saw that as, hey, I'm volunteering to help out this church for TV ministry. But I think that translated some of the skills that I learned using the HD camera, which is specifically composition, I believe has really lended itself well to my ability to compose shots very well in my still work.
Right. Wow, that's awesome. And so that was your first time at Miracle Temple, well, now known as Miracle City Church, but that was your first time touching a camera, or you had no training with that before?
Yeah, that was an HD live camera, and I did that for almost 9 years at Miracle Temple. So I got really good at using the HD live camera, but transferring to still photography, like wanting to do this thing, it was my total inspiration came from that one shoot with the model at Frank Jules' studio in Silver Spring.
Well, shout out to you, Frank Jules.
Thank you oh yes, absolutely. Frank and Sally Ann Jules of Access to Heaven Network.
Yes. See, you just like gave him a whole shout out. Okay. I guess we got to support more than one company today.
Absolutely.
Well, so do you do this currently full time, or?
Good question. 2 years ago, I was an employee at Morgan State University. I was at Morgan for about 14 years. Off and on the side, I was dabbling into doing stuff with workshops and attending workshops and trying to get better at what I do with my photography on a part-time basis. But I was doing business. I was getting clients. I was doing sweet 16s. I've done a couple of weddings. So I've done a variety of different types of things. I've been to New York Fashion Week. This was all during the time while I was still working at Morgan. But in 2019, I decided to quit my job and really focus on doing me. And I had a great experience at Morgan. Loved them. It was a great organization, great company, great school, great institution. But at this stage of my life, my daughters, by the way, which are all in their 20s,
and they're definitely
was the motivating factor for me. Once they've gotten to age of self-sufficiency, I said to myself, you know what, it's time for me to do something for me. So that's why I decided to do something on my own. So I am doing photography and brand marketing full time.
Oh, wow. Okay. You see, this is God once again, because, in the first episode of V.I.B.E, I talk about how I was, well, how basically, long story short, I was looking for a sign of, to, you know, I did already quit my job, but I was also looking, you know, sometimes we do stuff, but we look for confirmation.
Yes.
And we shouldn't do that all the time. Sometimes we should just have the faith that God gives us.
To just step into it.
Yes. And I was looking for confirmation forever and ever. And I decided to do it. And once I did it, you know, I had a sense of relief.
Yes, absolutely.
I was able to breathe. And
absolutely.
It's crazy because, you know, as a single mom, that's not something that you should do. Because it's not the thing that people admire. People admire if you have a great 9-to-5 job.
Stability. Stability is important. Look. So stability in this world of the world we live in is important. It's an important factor.
But you could also lose that stability very quickly.
Absolutely. And so the thing is, you have to be able to determine in your heart and in your mind, I am going to make this thing happen.
Absolutely.
Okay. And it's but you really have to be careful. So I don't recommend to everyone to go out there and jump out there.
It's not. It's definitely not for everyone.
You really have to have a mindset of, I'm going to do whatever it takes to survive. And there will be times when I might be homeless, you know. And so, but the thing is, if I'm compelled to do what I want to do and I love to do, I believe that the universe will respond eventually. And money will follow, but passion and conviction have to be there inside your heart for you to be able to say, okay, you know what, you have to be convicted that, okay, you know what, I want to do this and I'm going to do this. And you got to step out in faith. Faith is an important aspect of, you know, survival in entrepreneurship. It's important. You got to have some belief.
Absolutely.
Some form of belief in yourself.
Yes. And it's funny that you said that because, you know, you were talking about stability, but stability doesn't always come in the form of a 9-to-5 job.
It does not. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and you'll hear in some of my other interviews and even the, you know, the first episode of V.I.B.E that I basically get bits and pieces of my story in each interview. So for those who want to be nosy or just want to get some inspiration in general, listen to all the interviews because it gives bits and pieces of my story. But, you know, like I was saying, talking about stability, and my jobs weren't stability. I've had 3 jobs within the past year.
Wow.
And each time God allowed me, not the devil. At first I thought it was God. He allowed me to lose it. First job, I was making almost $1,000 every week.
Wow.
Then the next job, and that's great for someone 22 years old, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
And
that's pretty amazing.
Thank you. And the next job, it was a seasonal job, and I was making great money. But God allowed that seasonal job to end a month before it was supposed to end.
Wow.
It wasn't just me. It was a lot of the seasonal people. And I'm like, why, God? I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
What you doing? Come on. Like the audacity. It's the audacity for me.
Right.
But and then I had another job where I was able to work from home, stay home with my child full time. Only one of these jobs I wasn't able to stay home with my child full time, but the other 2 were. So I was able to make my own schedule. I'm not going to say the name of the company because, you know, I'm not
understood.
But basically, I didn't get paid for 3 months.
Wow.
3 months. And that's why I say that a job, 9-to-5, does not mean stability. It doesn't matter.
You're absolutely right. What it is, it's a contract that you sign, and that contract says, for these hours, you're going to do X, Y, and Z. That's what that is. That's what a regular job is. But the question that I tend to want to ask and put out there is, what is it that you were intended to do as a human being?
Yes.
In this life.
What is planned for you?
Right.
Not what is your personal plan for yourself. We have America has the mindset to make us feel like we need money.
Yes.
To make us feel like being rich is having money. But
Right.
no, because when I quit my job, and I'm sure you have the same feeling,
Mm-hmm.
I am rich now. I am more
Yes,
than rich. And yes, my
absolutely.
bank account went record low. You'll hear that in one of my interviews of me telling someone. And yes, God had to scare me in order for me to start telling my testimony, because this is not something I wanted to tell people. But
Absolutely.
I
Interesting.
feel so empowered. And I know you said that
Yes.
you wanted to start doing you.
Yes. As a matter
Um,
of fact, one of my common hashtags on my social media is take back your power. Okay.
mm,
Because part of my journey prior to even discovering my passion was a major life-changing event. For me, it was going through a divorce. And
oh wow.
divorce isn't something I recommend. I even
I don't
hope
recommend it either.
anyone,
I
my
can say
worst
that too.
enemy.
It's horrible,
Divorce
y'all.
is especially when children are involved, okay?
Yeah,
But let me tell
yeah,
you, that experience I had to learn about me, about what were my shortcomings that caused for that to fail,
yeah.
okay? And one of my shortcomings was that I gave up all of my power, okay?
Mm,
Now, that was just one aspect of life. I learned that, oh my goodness, why did I give all of my power away? Then it goes back to growing up and how all throughout life, we somehow are taught that, hey, you have to give up your power in order for you to be successful or to go to heaven or all those types of things. But
yeah.
when you really look, I had to do some introspective, I had to ask some questions to myself and say, wait a minute, if I was born and God created me, I was born with power and unlimited potential. Well, if I was born with power and unlimited potential, what makes me want to give it away to somebody based on what I've been taught? I need
Mm-hmm.
to start learning how to take advantage of my own power and how to use it for my benefit and hopefully to the benefit of others. But for
How
me,
can
what
you
I
give
learned
what you can't give to yourself? You need to instill what you instill in others. And that's something I learned as
absolutely,
well.
absolutely. And so in giving up all of my power, I pretty much was just vulnerable to the forces of all the wind and anything else that was all around me. I was not in control because I gave it all up.
Mm,
And so since that time, I decided and I was determined that I'm going to have to take my power back in all aspects of life. Okay. And so it's not just my relationships, but it's also in whoever I'm associated, an organization, a nonprofit, a church, a corporation,
right.
political group. We have to learn how to take back our power because within that lies our ability to change the world, in my opinion.
Yes. Yes. That's absolutely true. And I feel like in a way, not that I am you in a way, but in a way, the things that you did later on in life is things that I
Yes,
started to do now.
that's powerful.
Um, you said thank you, and you said something about, you trying to find yourself, because your kids were older now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I want to do now. Because
Mm,
how can my child see to chase after his dreams if
absolutely.
I only wait until after he's out my house,
Exactly.
after he grows up? I need to do
Absolutely.
it now. And so
Absolutely.
that's one reason why I did it. But also, like you said, following your dreams at first is not always for everyone. You have
Mhm,
to be able to listen to God's voice.
mhm.
You have to be able
Absolutely.
to do that
Yeah, you
because
have to. Yep. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, yeah, I was saying because listening to other people's voice isn't right. And okay, sue me everyone for saying this, but always listening to the pastor and the church is not the right thing.
Oh my
Okay?
goodness. You take it with a grain of salt, but you have to do your own homework. Not
Yeah,
just you can't act on what he says. You have
yeah,
to act on good information. I learned that
yeah.
from one of my coworkers at Morgan, and it tickles me to death. She was a great mentor and a leader. Her name is Gwendolyn Streeter. But
All these
she
amazing people today.
absolutely, and she's in the department I worked for. Um, she was very adamant about communicating to us and letting us know, look, no matter what it is that goes on in this operation, you have to, whatever information that you put out there, it has to be good, solid information. Don't give
Yeah,
maybes, I thinks, It's a possibility. We need facts and we need data. I remember in my spiritual journey, I was very discouraged by a comment a pastor had made to me in a question I asked that I thought was honest and just pure in its intent. I just wanted to learn something about how the money flows. But bottom line is, the question, the response was so insulting, it prompted me to start doing research. And I dug into the history of my denomination, my religion, and it led me to discovery of origins of other religions. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Manipulation and control is something that tends to happen in legal structures.
One religion, I didn't mean to interrupt you. One religion I do admire, even though I am Christian, but one religion I really do admire are Muslims. Because I noticed that you were talking about manipulation and whatnot, but it seems that they're kind of different. They kind of go with what they know is right. And they don't seem to, I know when we see, Muslims in the street or at the store, we think differently. But I've looked at them and I've done research and I'm like, the way they talk, the way they act is because they were, what is the word? They were basically like their consciousness told them to do it. They listened to whatever, I think it's Allah that they believe in, but they listen to God per se. And that's why they did it. They didn't do it because, oh, so-and-so said so, or so-and-so said so. And they also don't guilt each other. Well, some might do, just like some Christians might guilt each other, but I definitely, because I know you're saying about different origins of religions. I looked at that too, and I was like, I admire them. The way that people perceive Muslims are not right.
Interesting.
They, and especially the women and the way the men respect them. Now, like I said, every person, every religion has their mistakes. So I'm not saying everyone.
And there's something good in. I think there's something good that we can learn in all religions. Okay, I believe there's something good. However, the mistake a lot of folk make, and although we're deviating from business, but it's essential to success. The mistake a lot of people make is that they use the organization or whatever the organization teaches as a substitute for a more personal, direct relationship with the creator of the universe. And if you don't have that connection, it doesn't matter what you're a part of. Because if you're a part of anything and don't have that personal relationship or that intimate connection with your source, God,
then you're going to fail. You fail.
Absolutely.
Like you can't money in the world, but you're going to fail.
Thrive. You can't thrive in this life without a deep connection with the spiritual.
That don't believe in God. All these celebrities that don't believe in God, they still have some sort of depression because they're putting their faith in themselves and money and not the one who gave it to them.
Yeah. Wow. I tell you, it's it's important to, I think, to be connected. That's really my message outside of business. It's being spiritually connected is a key, I think, key indicator of your level of success in life in general. And it's outside of what somebody judges you by. It's just success in life in general. So in order for you to succeed, you have to be connected. And people that are living their lives without a connection, without a sense of purpose, it's a difficult thing. And that's where giving up of your power becomes a problem. One of my favorite Netflix documentaries that I've been following is Leah Remini's Church of Scientology. It is amazing what I have learned. Oh, it's pretty powerful. And how it talks about a little bit about her journey to leaving that organization and what she had learned so much from other people who have also had challenges and how it affected their lives in a negative way, but how they've basically been able to take their power back. And so for me, it was inspiring to see people taking back their power and how they're living their lives post whatever traumatic experience and situation and circumstances that they were in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That definitely is powerful. I definitely admire people who, have their faith steadfast on, God and whatnot, because I've deviated from God's, hands before, and I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna say I am.
None of us are.
Even though, we want to seem as though we're perfect, but
There's no such thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, question, what advice can you give a budding entrepreneur that may want to be in your field, or maybe already be in your field, but wants to take that leap? Like, for example, like, one of the things in my business is photography. So, what may someone like me be able to learn, or someone not like me be able to learn?
Yeah, well, number one, you have to feel confident that you possess the gift. If you've discovered that, hey, what other people are saying, not only, but if you recognize that, hey, I have an eye and people are responding to it, I think that's when it's time for you to really start learning, educating yourself. Now, there's self-education, there's also professional education, but in many times, folks may not have the necessary financial resources to be able to invest in a professional education track when it comes to that discipline of photography. But I can tell you this much, for me, YouTube was one of my greatest friends. There is so much you can learn. Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, baby? But yes. but yeah, getting plugged in is one of my, I think, the greatest piece of advice I can give. Getting plugged in. And what I mean by getting plugged in is learning what organizations are there out there within that field of discipline that you have found your passion, and start connecting with the knowledge and information that can help you to grow and develop and be the best that you can be within that space. So when I'm saying getting plugged in, there's something I call the power of association. And association is not just from the natural English definition of association, but actually I'm also Paul.
I'm sorry, it's nap time.
Okay, gotcha.
I know I already said in the beginning of the show, I am a mom. Work
Absolutely.
from home, so comes with the territory. This is a family show.
Absolutely. It's all good. But with respect to the power of association, it is important to actually connect with organizations, associations, alliances, groups that, especially nonprofit groups, that are about helping and advancing and perfecting your skill and profession.
One second, you can keep talking. I'm gonna step away for a quick second, but I can hear you.
Sure. Yeah. So it's so critical. It really is critical for you to learn as much as you can. Learning, it has to be a lifelong process. You have to have that mindset and frame of mind that, of course, you're never going to know everything, but it's important for you to learn so that you can be the best that you can be at whatever it is that you do.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And you can never learn too much. You can never you can never get too much information. It's always important to learn,
and be open to learning. Yes, you have to be open to learning. Yes,
absolutely, because I know that there's so much information that I do know, but when, I hear of other people's stories and I'm like, wow, what can I take from that?
Absolutely. And also connecting with peers. So for me, I felt it was important to start joining meetup groups. I love meetups for that purpose. Meetups.com is a great, powerful organization. It's an online software program that pretty much connects people with common interests. So if it's a photography and modeling, there could be one in your local community area that you didn't even know existed. Go to meetups.com, sign up and register, and you'll have access to all kinds of events and workshops and meetup opportunities where you can network with like-minded individuals that will help hopefully propel you into being better at what you do in your field.
Yeah, I've signed up for that website before, but I never actually got into it. But you say it works, and I guess I'll go try it out again.
Yeah, so networking is an important aspect of growing within your field of passion. Okay, networking. So you have to connect. You have to find out what's out there, who's out there, what are they doing. So it's all part of the learning process, but you have to engage. And networking is so, so important and critical, because you can become friends with another photographer, and there's something that they can share with you that you didn't know you could do that can help develop your skills, and it's a vice versa. And there's some things that you can share, and you have to be willing to be open to sharing. And a lot of people view photography as competitive. It can be considered as a competitive industry. However, for me, I don't view photography as a competition. I believe that if everybody had a camera, everybody can capture something of the universe uniquely with that perspective that no one else has. So bottom line is, it's all about personal growth. For me, photography, for me, it's about growing into doing and being able to create the magic that only I can create, because it's unique to what I see is unique to me. You know?
Right. Definitely. And then what are I don't know if you already talked about. I am so sorry, you guys.
That's okay.
What are the cons of doing business?
Well, the cons, the challenges are that there's so many. I mean, I'll give you the raw. Unpredictable work. So bottom line is, if your mouth is closed, your business is closed. Okay. So guess what? Within the past few seconds, your mouth has been closed. My mouth has been closed. Well, my business is closed as far as the universe is concerned. So what that means is, if I'm not constantly out there communicating to people and sharing my work, and if people aren't referring me, guess what? My business is suffering. And so how can I build enough demand to have steady business? And that's something
why the V.I.B.E was created, so we could get our brothers and sisters out there.
Absolutely. And so right now, I'll be honest with you, I've been shooting for 7 years, but I feel like I'm just now I feel like I'm still just getting started. And although I started the business, I knew that it wasn't going to replace my income, but I had to jump out there and start, and so I was doing that for part-time for a long time. Now, I'm in a place where I'm self-sufficient. I can make enough money to pay for my bills and to put food on my table, as I'm still working and building on my dream. Now, photography is a passion of mine. However, God blessed me with a creative gift. Photography is going to propel me into another project I've recently had an epiphany on. That's going to help me to be able to hopefully not just showcase my work, but the works of other photographers as well. And so I want to be a content creator. And so it's more than just capturing images.
So I guess that is a sneak peek.
Yes, absolutely. Content creator. If you've heard of Condé Nast, who happens to be the parent company that owns Vogue magazine and Travel and Leisure and a lot of major magazines, well, why can't I become a Condé Nast? That's just a question I'm asking.
Right.
And so
you put your mind to it, and if it's God's plan for your life.
Your vision should not be limited to what you think you can do. Your vision has to be something, if you dream it up, make it happen.
Okay? I have a dream.
If you have a dream, just go for it.
Yes.
Go for it. That's it.
Right. Well, as you see, I'm being a mom. Like you said, you have 3 daughters. So I think we're going to bring him back on, y'all, because obviously he has more business ventures and whatnot. But I'm going to step out the camera one more time.
It's all good. Oh, my God.
Tell me, well, not you guys, because it's just you, but I'm pretty sure you're going to bring on more people, right? Maybe.
Oh, that is definitely the vision that I have. Is, again, I want to build an organization that can create something very, very powerful. Again, I want to be able to create some content. And so I believe there will be room for a great many people in due time. But for right now, I'm still building and working on my skill sets, and I'm going to continue shooting and continue working with attending workshops and getting training, and following things on YouTube and learning as much as I can so I can build on the craft.
Great. Well, where can we find you and, you know, hire you and just see all your content?
Okay. Yeah, so I have a Wes G Photography account. It's WESG Photography, all one word, no gaps or spaces or bars in between. It is a private account, but I have about 1,500 followers right now. But it shows a plethora, diversity of the types of photography I've done. I've done monochrome, black and white, portraiture, artistic nude, landscape. So it's a variety. So I really love to shoot, and I love to shoot in so many different genres. I don't necessarily have a favorite, so to speak. I just try to see what I can do in these different spaces, and I've been able to enjoy my work, and I've been blessed in that barely 1 year after I bought my camera, I was curious as to what other people might think of my work. But again, I initially started doing it because I just had a passion for, wow, I want to capture stuff. But once I decided to see what other people might think, I somehow landed on a Smithsonian photo contest page just to see if I showcase my work somewhere that, you know, what people would think. But when I landed on the Smithsonian photo contest page, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Look at these people, look at their work. This is fascinating. I wonder if I can possibly submit. Didn't know that I could. Then when I started reading fine print and started looking into finding out how you can submit, I said, okay, well, I'm crazy. I don't care if, you know, you shut me down and reject me, but I'm curious if you think some of my work might be okay. Well, I submitted 14 images. 13 of my 14 images were accepted into the contest. That blew my mind. That was barely 1 year after I bought my camera. And every year since then, every year since then, my work, whether it's one image or two, has been accepted for the past 7 consecutive years.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Very humbling. Again, I didn't know that I even had this gift. It was just an epiphany, like, oh my God, I have to get a camera. And boom, it's like, oh my God, I love this. I love what I do. And I'm hoping to continue to learn and grow and get better at what I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely, you know, I know some of the people I interview and some of the people I don't, but I've known you for the longest. I didn't know you were, you know, doing all this. So
wow.
always, like you said, you can always learn. There's nothing.
Absolutely.
But yes. Well, thank you so much for being on here today. Thank you for taking your time out.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, and thank you for allowing my guest, my co-star, to pop in.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, we got to get him to start talking too, so he could participate in the conversation.
No. Sometimes he talks a little too much. I'm like, shh. See, you know. I had a conversation with him before we started. I said, don't say a word. Don't come over here. I said, I'll be done in 15 minutes. Obviously, it's been more than 15 minutes. So he said, Mom. You said 15 minutes. You said, don't talk.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, but it's been more than 15 minutes. So he listened to me. I guess Mama did the time.
That's powerful.
But yes, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Paris.
For being on here today. And just remember that you are a king, you are royalty. Ooh,
thank you so much.
And you are a vibe, you are a virtuous individual, Black, excellent
king. Thank you so much. Oh, God bless you. I appreciate that.
Don't let anyone knock it down.
Thank you so much, Paris. Much love to you, my friend. Be safe. And
thank you.
And wishing you much success as well.
One of the models one day, because like I've seen pictures of your daughters, and I'm like, wow, like they're already good, but they look like way better, like with your edits and your skills.
Thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem. Well, yes, we'll have you back soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Would love to.
Yes. All right. Well,
all right.
See you later. Bye.
Take care. Take care. Have a good one. Thank you.
Bye.
Let's talk with Paris Hawk. Y'all love those talks with me, Paris Hawk. Did y'all get a blessing from this interview today? Huh? Yes? Okay. I'm hoping you did. I know you're all like, dang, what's going on with Paris? She got her boom back. She got her pow back. Okay, y'all. I'm back. I was stressed for a few weeks, okay? And I let my stress show, but I'm booming today, okay? And I hope that you guys enjoyed that interview with CEO of Wes Guerrier Photography. Thank you again, sir, for just being able to be transparent and being able to be a voice for people that want to get in your field. Thank you for even being a inspiration to me, because part of my business is photography. And it just gave me some insight of what I can do and maybe what I shouldn't do. And so thank you so much, everybody. Please don't forget to support this melanated king. And also his information will be in the description below. Again, don't forget, kings and queens, that you are black gold. Don't forget that God loves you. And don't forget what Deuteronomy 28 verse 2 says. All these things, blessings will come upon you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God. Remember, that means that if you have that Matthew 17 verse 20 faith, that mustard seed faith, then blessings will overflow because you follow God's will and his plan for your life. Jeremiah 29:11. All right. Well, I'm about to sign off, y'all. Remember, support. Don't forget to support. Support. Did I have to say it again? Support. Also support me. Buy my merchandise, okay? Anyways, all right, y'all. I'm out. Bye.
Everybody go link in description and buy that merch. Ooh, cop that merch. Yeah, buy that merch. Everybody go link in description. Hey yo, go cop that merch. Link in description, so cop that merch. We got the latest design and you know it looks sick. Proceed to check out.
If you're a Black business owner, poet, dancer, singer, and more, then please email me at vibeshow18@gmail.com. Again, the email is vibeshow18@gmail.com. Can't wait to feature you. Bye. This show is produced by Paris Hawk Productions, LLC.